students and is tended to foster inclusion and empowerment of individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. A fundraiser raffle is in progress to raise money to support Special Olympics of Wisconsin and the Pewaukee High School Best Buddies program. Buy your tickets anytime before the end of the game at the tables near the gym entrance. You do not need to be present to win. And coming up at halftime, we'll introduce you to some of the members of the PHS Best Buddies program. Pewaukee High School, the Berlin West High School, and the WIAA remind you that admission to this event is a privilege. With that comes the responsibility to behave respectfully. Good sportsmanship is required and will be strictly enforced. Anyone directing disrespectful or unsportsmanlike language toward the officials, coaches, players, or other fans will be required to leave the gym. Now, to honor America, please rise for the singing of our national anthem. Performed tonight by Pewaukee High School Junior Kate Lang, Pewaukee Senior Sierra Roberts, Senior Cinnabon Davitinsky, and Senior Giselle Janowski.
Was a group of Pewaukee seniors from the choir involved in an outstanding national anthem to get things underway here on Warriors Wear Red Night. Once again, hit that QR code in the corner or red.pewaukeetv.org, and you can get in on all the action, all the fun here tonight as we support Best Buddies program and the Special Olympics. Pirates starting lineup tonight as the lights go down in customary fashion. Looks like we're gonna see a similar group to what we've seen, but we're gonna be a little bigger tonight. Big Cade Rykowski, Jonas Schaefer, as he's run it all year, John Gertis, George Davis, and Tyler Tachenko out there. Again, special shout out to Jonah and Cade. They're going to be calling the girls' game tomorrow, so talk about a doubleheader. Going to play New Berlin West tonight and call a basketball game tomorrow. Should be fun. And another shout out to Cade Rykowski. Congrats to him. The big fella committed to Northwestern earlier this week to play football ahead of his senior season, which should be a joy to watch him out there on the gridiron as well. So congrats again to Cade on his commitment to Northwestern. And Casey, we're about ready for basketball here, and Best student section I've seen in a minute, and we've got the junior pom squad over here and a great visiting crowd from New Berlin West, and we're set for basketball. It'll be George Davis jumping center here with Elijah Gamage, 6'4" senior for the Vikings.
It'll be interesting to see how both teams start the game here. It's kind of, see who gets that momentum first early in the game.
Opening tip stays with the Pirates. Dachenko's got it. Sets it out top to Jonas Schaefer.
We got Kern matched up on Dachenko. He should have a pretty good size advantage, but Kern is a good, strong defender as well.
And Gamage working down there against Rykowski. Rykowski walled off down there, gets it out back out to Schaefer.
Good
nice
cut.
Dish underneath. Gertis just underlaid it, contested down there. It was a good job by Zach Hewitt not to foul. And the Vikings will have their first crack at it down here on the offensive end. Again,
Jonah's done a nice job the last 3 or 4 games of getting in the lane, pivoting around, and hitting cutters as they get to the basket.
Luke Kruger on the push. This one finds its way down to Gamage. And Cook will try a 3. That one's off the side of the rim. Dachenko clears it, and the Pirates are out ahead with it. Davis, corner 3. Rims off. Back tap by Rykowski. Finds its way into the hands of Evan Kern, and here come the Vikings. Luke Krieger, 6'1" senior, handling it right now for New Berlin West. Finds Cook again. That one in and out and into the hands of Rykowski. So nothing after a couple of minutes of play. Top to Rykowski. Underneath to John Gertis. And said it, Casey. Nice little ball fake there by John. Puts the Pirates on the board.
Simple game with John's size and strength. If you get down low on 2 feet, ball fake it guys in there and finish strong.
Hewitt on the drive. Got a little bit of body down here. They're going to get Dachenko on his first foul. And it'll stay down here on the baseline for New Berlin West. Goes into Cook, checked by John Gertis. Gamage will take the long 2. That's off the rim and into the hands of John Gertis. Here come the Pirates.
That'll be big for Pewaukee. They do have a good size advantage. If they can get that first rebound, prevent second chance opportunities, will be a big benefit for Pewaukee as New Berlin West shoots a lot of 3s, so there's probably going to be quite a few long rebounds as well.
Good pass out there from Rykowski to Schaefer. That one off the rim, finds its way to Dachenko, and that's no good. Davis battled for the rebound, but the Vikings are out of it. Gamage walled off by Rykowski and Dachenko. He throws that one off to Dachenko, and that will stay down here with the Vikings.
Pretty heads-up play by Gamage there. He had Rykowski and Dachenko coming on a double team. He just had to get it out of there.
Krieger dumps it down to Gamage, and he is good at the rim, and we'll tie it up 2-2 here in the early going. It's Elijah Gamage, 6'4" senior, third scorer on the team, 13.2 with 7.8 rebounds coming into the night. A guy who plays bigger than he is with those 7.8 rebounds. 6'4" in the sheet. Now you can see he's given up a good 4 inches to Dachenko down there. And they're going to get Gamage on a reaching foul after that ball was caroming off of his nose. He looked a little disoriented and picked up the foul on Dachenko.
Both teams trying to get a feel of the game right now. You know, Pewaukee's looks to be moving the basketball, trying to get it down low. New Berlin West is doing a lot of the same. Shots aren't falling, so it's just going to be get everyone settled in, get into the flow of the game, and we'll start seeing some scoring here.
Couple of subs here for the Pirates. Nick Templis, the sophomore, and right off the bench, got a 3 up, and it is good. Right on cue, Nick. A little different numbers tonight with these red uniforms. Nick usually number 30, he's 13 tonight, but that's that same smooth stroke for the kid, and he puts the Pirates ahead 5-2.
It's good to see Nick get one on the board early. He can get very streaky and score in waves.
Speaking of scoring in waves, he checked in with Ben Shireen, the senior, number 12, who has been on an absolute tear from the three-point line, 51% from 3 this season. So a couple of guys come in that can really knock down three-point shots. And right on cue. Give me one, Ben. That one's off the rim. And Hewitt is out of there with it for the Vikings. Krieger to Kern. Kern will try a 3. That is up and good. And we are tied right back up at 5.
Kern was the first game. Kern was the one that really, opened up the game. I think he hit 6 3-pointers and 9 attempts in that first game, and it seemed like every time Pewaukee got a stop, he hit a big shot.
Schaefer, good penetration, had an instinct that Ben was going to be cutting to the basket, and just a disconnect there. And that one will go back to the Vikings. Landon Stelz will check in for Schaefer. Landon's coming in, another one of those snipers from 3. It's just right down the line, 43% on the year for Landon. That one finds its way to Kern on the back cut, and Kern, with his 5th straight point, gives the Vikings a 7-5 lead. Davis kicks it out to Stelz. Stelz's 3 is off the mark, and Gamage clears for the Vikings. Picked off quickly by Tkachenko. Dishes underneath to Nick Templis. Nick's up and good, so 5 quick ones off the bench for Templis, and this thing's knotted back up at 7.
Nice job by Tyler jumping that passing lane as he's backpedaling on defense. He just anticipated there was going to be a cross-court pass, jumped through, and got that steal.
Finds its way to Cook. Cook with the quick trigger on the 3. That one's off. Tkachenko battles for it, and he's got it out ahead to Templis. Back to Tkachenko. Tkachenko on the hard drive. Takes contact right at the rim. On the pogo stick. Can't finish. And here comes Gamage. Zach Hewitt, they're going to call that, keep that on the ground. Stelz on the reach. That'll be baseline out of bounds down here. They're going to get Shireen on that foul. I thought they got Stelz, but they're going to get Ben Shireen down there. On the floor all the same. It'll be Viking basketball. Rex Malkowski checks in for the Pirates for the first time. And that is Zachary Hewitt at the rim, finishes through contact and gives the Vikings a quick bucket on the inbounds play. It's 9-7, New Berlin West. Templis will try another 3. That one is off the rim, and they're going to get Malkowski underneath with a push-off. Oh, head back this way. Well, we talked about it at the outset. There might have been a little bit of audio issues, so I don't know if everybody caught it, but defense, Casey, 7 points on the offensive end is a problem, but right now down here on the defensive end, looks like the Pirates are pretty dialed in, especially on Cook and Kern, who really make the offense tick for New Berlin. Yeah,
they're definitely stepping up and making these very difficult shots. A few guys on New Berlin West have turned a corner on the baseline, went to the hoop pretty strong, but you're right, they've pretty much limited Kern and Cook from getting those wide open looks.
But, we saw it last week with Xavier Castillo, the all-state guard from Greendale. You can keep guys like this bottled up for so long, and Kern and Cook are both on that level where it could go to really, really ugly in a minute or two with the way both these guys can get hot, especially from three. And right on cue, I probably shut my mouth, Casey. Kern's got his second three of the night, and he gives the Vikings a 12-7 lead.
Now, this is going to be a game that just feels like there's going to be a lot of big shots, big three-pointers. Both teams have taken, over 400 three-pointers each. So you're going to see a lot of threes put up, and there's quite a few kids in this game that can get hot and score quick.
Did you say 400 three-pointers each, Casey? I believe you, but
that
when you say it that way, that is just it's the game today, isn't it?
It is. Pewaukee's taken 436, and New Berlin West has taken 407 threes already this season.
And we're talking about teams that are about 18 and 17 games respectively into the season. That is a lot of three-point attempts. That one's going to go against Cook down there, trying to cut the lane off. It'll be the first foul on Cook, just the second one on New Berlin West.
New Berlin West is doing a nice job. They're physical. They don't have the physical height that Pewaukee has, but they have good strength, and they're right up on every Pewaukee ball handler, causing problems, jumping passing lanes, rotating really well, and it's making it difficult for Pewaukee to get a good look right now.
Schaefer checks back in, and he's got it for the Pirates. Joined by Templis, Melkowski, Gertis, and Tachenko. That three just off the rim for Templis, and here comes Krieger and the Vikings. Turns three off the mark. And here comes Schaefer, finds Rex Melkowski. Underneath the Gertis on a good cut, and John's got his second bucket of the night, and he'll draw the Pirates within three, but New Berlin West right back down here in a flash. But that flash was maybe a little too fast. Kern had to attempt to save it behind the back and threw it out of bounds, so it'll go right back to the Pirates.
And I think John Gertis might have a nice day here today with how hard New Berlin West overplays the passing lanes. He does such an incredible job planting his foot and cutting to the basket. He's already had 3 or 4 opportunities, just had a layup, but expect to see some of those backdoor cuts to get some easy layups.
Rykowski and Davis back in the lineup for the Pirates. A high screen and roll with Rykowski and Templis. Back out top to Schaefer. Finds its way back to Rykowski. He'll work his way down into the post. And right at the rim. And Cade says, "You're going to let me get this deep? I'm going to finish." And Cade's got the Pirates back to within a point.
Just a big man move like old Mark Aguirre, walking him down, backing him in, and does a little drop step.
Davis got his hand on that one from Hewitt, but ball kept alive and back into the hands of the Vikings. They'll get a reload. Krieger underneath the Gamage. Good hard step, but it can't finish at the rim. And here comes Jonah on the Pirates. Great dish underneath. And Gertis banging down low. And they're going to get him for 3 seconds in the lane. And I think Cade's asking the official if Coach Cook called that one. Because they were the entire New Berlin West bench was harping on that call before it was made. It'll go back to the Vikings as they cling to a 1-point lead. So this is going to be a fun one, Casey. There's some energy in the gym tonight.
It's nice to get a good crowd like this. 2 teams, crosstown rivals, as you mentioned. They've both been in the Woodland West for a while, so both teams are very competitive, so I think we're going to be in for a good one.
Krieger's three way off the mark. The student section lets him know about it, and here comes Jonah on the hard push for Pewaukee. Gamage right down in there, and they're going to get a reach-in call. Looked like he had a lot of ball. Thought he may have him tied up, but they're going to get Gamage on a reach. Craig says Gamage. Anybody out there on YouTube know? I've been calling him Gamage. Gamage, Gamage. If you're on YouTube and you know how to say it, let us know. Or else I might go with Copleen. He does a pretty good job of checking in on that stuff. So that'll take us to a timeout. Casey, 12-11 here in the early going. Buckets have been hard to come by for two teams that do like to get it up. What have you seen so far that's kept this thing in the the 11 to 12 range after almost 11 minutes of basketball?
Yeah, I would say the two big things, one, physicality. Both teams are playing very physical. There's no easy buckets to come by within 5 feet. You've got to hit jump shots. But both teams are doing a really nice job rotating, switching off different screens, getting hands in the face. There haven't been a lot of good looks. So it's not super surprising to see a 12-11 game in this style of game. But as you mentioned, both teams average over 70 a game. One of these teams will get hot and open it up. It's just how many punches can you take and can you respond?
Rajkowski will trigger it in, finds Schaefer. Thought about a three. He'll drive, dish it underneath and out of the hands of Tkachenko. It'll come right back down here with the Vikings. A golden opportunity there, just could not connect. Kern working underneath. They'll take the step back. That's long.
And again, 4 Pewaukee defenders flying in for those rebounds. There are not many second chance opportunities to come by right now.
Schaefer out to Tkachenko. Vikings have done a good job on Tyler so far. He has had a difficult time getting free to find shots.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think Tyler has a bucket yet, if I'm looking at the scoreboard correctly.
Davis will take a three, and that one, a good look from that baseline that he loves, and just the rim did not want it. So back down this direction, it is Cook at the controls here for the Vikings. They're going to spread it out. And surveilling the court is Krieger and Hewitt out top right now. And, no shot clock here in Wisconsin again, Casey. We're still working on that, but the Vikings content to spread it out, take a look at stuff. There's Cook on a drive, and they're going to count. They are going to count the basket.
Counted the bucket, yep.
A little bit of a discussion down there, but bucket good for Jace Cook, and he'll go to the line to try to make it a three-point play the old-fashioned way. Cook coming in tonight shooting 74% from the foul line. Knocks that one and opens it back up to a 4-point lead here for the Vikings. Under 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Schaefer wiggles his way to the rim and finishes.
Jonah does such a nice job, as many coaches teach, changing speeds and changing levels. He's real herky-jerky. He stands up. He drops his hips. Just does a nice job changing speeds and getting to the basket.
Back the other end. Krieger's layup comes off the rim, and the Pirates are out ahead fast. Davis walled off in the paint by Hewitt. Resets to Ben Shireen, who's checked back in the ball game for Pewaukee. Davis almost lost his footing. I'll pitch it out to Rajkowski and right back to him. Shireen on the drive. That one's knocked away, but into the hands of Davis. Davis and Shireen playing catch with a little bit here Tell you, this New Berlin West defense is dug in right now. He comes off, but Tachenko with the rebound, and he finishes at the rim for his first bucket of the night.
And that's something that, Milan Momcilovic, who plays at Iowa State, his coach TJ Otzelberger mentioned sometimes those open threes you need to take because you can get weak side rebounds. That was a good example. There were two guys flying at Jonah, which left Tyler all alone on the backside for the offensive rebound.
Feed underneath to Davis, and that one just may have gotten knocked out of the hands with a deflection before it got to Davis, and by the time it got to George, a little too hot for the handle. Come back this direction, and the Vikings will try to regain the lead. Again, Warriors wear red night. That's where you see all the red and the matching white shirts, all in honor of our Best Buddies program. Be some festivities at halftime. We're going to talk to Cassie Hoyman and her sister Taylor Hoyman, who have founded and kept this thing running, raising thousands of dollars over the past few years for the Special Olympics. So stick around at halftime to hear a little bit more about that. That was Cook on laying down here on the other end. He does give the Vikings a 2-point lead. And that one's off the foot of Shireen. And we'll come right back down this direction. So unforced turnover here. Nick Templis, John Gertis check back in. Two of the guys who've been able to help with the scoring here so far. Gertis with 4 quick ones and Templis with 5. Let's see if they can get going again. Just over 3 minutes to play here in the first half.
Good defense. Nice job. Good rotation there. I think it was Tyler or Cade that came over on the rotation, cut off Kern early before he could get inside the lane, causing that turnover.
Yeah, right in front of us, just the activity level of the defense, both sides of the court, has not let up from the opening tip, and can't imagine it's going to get any less intense here in the second half of what's been a really, really hard-fought battle here between these conference rivals. Good job by Tyler imposing his will down there, knocked Kern to the floor and finishes at the rim. This thing's all tied up again at 17. Hewitt will try a 3. That's off the rim and cleared by Templis. He's out of there with a head of steam. Tachenko underneath to Gertis, and there's that hard cut you talked about, Casey. John at the rim gives the Pirates a 2-point lead.
Not to sound like a broken record, John just can find the timing of that cut, and he hits the lane at the right time when someone's attacking, and he gets a lot of those buckets right by the basket, just being aware of the cut.
Krieger underneath, they're going to get John on a push. Be just the 6th foul on the Pirates, so they'll stay on the ground here. Bonus on the next one for New Berlin West, but they'll take this one out of bounds down here on the baseline. Tanner Kretschmer in the lineup, number 3 for New Berlin West. Cook working against Tachenko. That one's off his hands. Good job by Tyler. Walling off Cook. And that one squirted out of bounds. So Pirate basketball. Templis underneath to Tachenko. He'll try the 3, and he is fouled by Kern on the closeout. And Tyler does a good job of getting those arms out, and there's a sense of panic for any defender when they see him with the ball in his hands with the speed of that release. And Kern was just a little late on the closeout. He got him on the arm, and it will be 3 shots from the charity stripe for Tachenko.
And as you mentioned, Tyler is such a prolific three-point shooter. He's shooting 51.9% from three on 108 attempts. So it's not an anomaly at this point anymore. It is a trend that he can shoot the ball at a high clip.
Yeah, I think I looked at that. Did you do that shootout up at the WIAA state tournament, and he's number one.
Number one, yep.
He's number one, and I think George Davis was number three. Which is just incredible when you think about it. Again, as a team, shooting 42% from three, that has been one of the key things that has kept this Pirate team on the right side of a number of games and kept them in some other games. It's not a bad free throw shooter either. He hits all three of them, 85% on the night from the free throw line. And the Pirates are back ahead by 5, their largest lead of the ball game. The minute 20 to go here in the first half. Cook underneath with the floater. That comes off, but he's got his own rebound. Makes its way back over to Kern. Kern's three is good. And it is a 2-point lead with just over a minute to play here as the first half winds down. Back and forth they go in the Woodland West showdown. Rykowski up top to Davis. And they're going to get a technical down here on Rykowski, I think. Banging and jawing down there. And must have said something that the officials took and said, we're gonna slow this thing down a little bit. So Cook will come down our direction and shoot a couple of technical free throws, and the Vikings will retain possession. So after opening it up to a 5-point lead here, it's a chance not only for the Vikings to catch back up, but to take the lead after the change of possession here on the free throws. First one for Cook is good. And second free throw is up and good, so sure enough, we do have a tie game. And the Vikings will retain possession here with 45 seconds to go in the half and a chance to go back in front.
That's one of those. Cook has not had a lot of opportunities to get buckets right now, but for him to see a couple go down at the free throw line is never a good sign at the end of a half either.
Kern working a top against Malkowski, finds its way to Cook. Back underneath to Kern. Good job by the Pirate defense converging, but Cook, he doesn't need very long either to get that shot off, and just like that, an 8-0 run, and the Vikings are back ahead by 3. Just 10 seconds left here, and turnover down on the other end. Davis lost his footing, and the Vikings will have a chance for a last shot. Again, stick around for halftime. And that one's off for Cook. But stick around for halftime. We're going to have a couple of special guests here. This is Taylor and Cassie Hoyman, the masterminds behind Warriors Wear Red Night. Cassie, the senior, currently running the whole operation, senior and manager of our girls basketball team. Recently just got word that she's going to join her big sister up at UW-Madison. So congratulations to Cassie. And her sister Taylor is the one who started this whole thing back in 2023. Again, Warriors Wear Red is a program that benefits the Pewaukee Best Buddies Club and the Special Olympics. There's going to be some festivities here at halftime. Casey and I will try to keep up with what's going on. There's usually some fun out here on the court during Warriors Wear Red Night. But for you at home, you can join in the fun as well. All kinds of good stuff, courtesy of Kessler's, Molly's, Billy Ho's, Bank of Flowers, Katie's Creations, The Machine Shed, and Bubba's. There are a number of raffles going tonight, and the way you get out to them is red.pewaukeetv.org or hit that QR code on the screen. You can get in there, enter one of the raffles. You can buy multiple tickets for the raffles, or you can enter all of the raffles. That's what I would encourage, Casey. Just put a couple bucks in each of them, and work to get your odds in your favor. All for a wonderful, wonderful cause, driven entirely by Cassie Hoyman and her sister Taylor Hoyman, and a number of student volunteers that they pull together every year to make this just a wonderful night in the Pewaukee community. We got a shootout going on down here, Casey.
Yeah, this will be fun. They got a lot of people out here on the court. You can see the organizers are starting to coordinate everything as we get into the halftime entertainment here. But as you mentioned, a great opportunity, great cause. Scan that barcode, red.pewaukeetv.org. Join a raffle, all benefiting Best Buddies.
We've got a diamond from Kessler's out there. You can get a diamond,
there you go.
And the tickets are only $5. That's a pretty good investment. There is a Brewers raffle. There is a Pewaukee basket raffle and a Milwaukee toolkit raffle that includes all kinds of rechargeable equipment for the handyman out there. So little something for everybody. Get out there to hit up the link, and you're going to be able to get a wonderful prize. The Brewer ticket raffle. Just to talk about that, 4 infield box tickets, which is a primetime experience down there at American Family Field. A gift certificate from Katie's Creations is in that basket. A gift certificate from Billy Hoses to Pewaukee Basket for Bubba's, Molly's Gluten-Free Bakery, Bank of Flowers and Machine Shed to the Pewaukee Basket. You get a gift card from all of those wonderful places. And then you're also going to have the opportunity from Integrity Wire EDM. The Milwaukee Tool Basket is a M18 Fuel 7-tool combo, Casey. So 7 tools in one. Big John Hoyman, father of Cassie and Taylor, tells me that this was a very generous gift. I'm not much of a tool guy, but this looks pretty
sure
exciting.
Sounds like something everyone needs in their house, though.
Yeah, go get some tools, build something, get a diamond, or join that Brewers raffle or the Pewaukee raffle. I know we would all be grateful for it, and as would Cassie and Taylor. So I'm going to wave them down, see if they want to come over here and talk to me a little bit. We're going to talk to a couple of these fine ladies, and that have put on such a wonderful program over the years. Can you girls hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Excellent. Welcome back, Taylor.
Thank you.
Good to see you again. And this has become kind of a Pewaukee tradition that is now run by Cassie Hoyman, senior. Wonderful student here, and congrats. I understand you're going to join your sister at UW-Madison in the fall.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yes, I will.
But before we do that, we got to get to the fun of Warriors Wear Red Night. So, Cassie, why don't you start? What's going on tonight here in the Pewaukee community?
Yeah, so tonight is our 5th annual Warriors Wear Red event, and Taylor began this event as a way to raise money for our inclusion programs and picks and Best Buddies, and they just do a really great job. Creating opportunities for our friends with intellectual disabilities.
Excellent. And it's been going for some time now, and I think we've got some fun stuff. We got some shooting going on out here at half court. Flip it over to you, Taylor. What was the impetus to do this all those years ago, way back when you were a student here at Pewaukee High School? What got you passionate about this cause, and what was the way that you did it, if there's kids out there looking to do something like this in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started volunteering with Special Olympics when I was in 6th grade, and it truly changed my life. I just knew that when I was asked to do an impact days, I love these programs. I wanted to put their work on display and foster the inclusion community that both these clubs do so well. And Honestly, the way I did it, it's just passion and drive, and whatever you're passionate about, you can truly do. I had a lot of help from the administration here and a lot of the teachers here, and both of these programs. So truly, if there's something that you want to do, an impact you want to make, it truly can be possible.
That's pretty darn good advice. So Cassie, more about what's going on tonight here. So if somebody's at home, they can still get involved with all these raffles. We've been telling people about that all night tonight. How does it work? When do we draw these things? When do people find out what the wonderful prizes they've won? What's going on?
So we do have our online raffle available to everyone. You do not need to be present to win. The raffle will end at 9 o'clock, so just make sure you have your tickets in before then. And then we will contact each winner individually, and we will bring over the donation to you.
All right. Sounds pretty easy.
Yep.
It's been on the screen all night, red.pewaukeetv.org, or hit that QR code. Cassie and Taylor would love to have your donation in there. And I think, the other thing I wanted to check in with you guys, we still got about 3 minutes left here. This is a fun thing for the community in the basketball program. What do you think was special about this community in Pewaukee that gets this kind of crowd out to participate in something like this? You both grew up in Pewaukee, have been here for a long time, sometimes come back to it. What's it about Pewaukee that makes this a good place to do something like this?
I think, honestly, this community is so giving. You can tell from the beginning with our sports programs are always a real central focus, and especially with the boys basketball team, they already had an existing relationship with Special Olympics, which was super special. And I think that really helped all of this come to light and, create this environment that we get to indulge in each year.
What about you, Cassie? What do you see when you see this outpouring of, you're getting so many kids involved in this too, which is awesome, but then to see a crowd like this all getting excited and involved in this wonderful opportunity you put together?
Yeah, I think when people see Pewaukee, we're pretty small but mighty. We're really great at getting people together, and I think the more a lot of these student-ran events have come about, you really see how willing people are to contribute and just care for each other.
Outstanding. Well, thank you both again. Taylor, thank you for starting the party. Cassie, thank you for continuing the party. Everybody out there watching tonight, get on out there, red.pewaukeetv.org, scan the QR code, get involved in one of the raffles. It is a fun Pewaukee tradition that we're glad to have, thanks to you two wonderful young ladies. Thanks again, Cassie and Taylor.
Thank you.
And
Thank
have
you
a wonderful rest of the evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, that was Cassie and Taylor Hoyman, the founder and currently student leader of this wonderful evening here. We are about a minute away from a second half. Casey's back. We'll talk a little bit of hoops on a festive night. So a game of runs here a bit. Pirates had opened it up to a 5-point lead, and then just like a flash, I think it was the last minute of the second half, we look up and they're down by 3 points. What do you make of that first half in a game that has been a slog? It's a low-scoring affair because it took really that last minute to even get to 25-22. What did you see in that first half, and what do the Pirates need to do to put more points on the board?
Yeah, and we mentioned it early on. Both teams are playing very physical, strong defense. Some of the best defense I've seen Pewaukee play this year. As you mentioned, New Berlin West did go on a little 8-0 run there in the last minute or so, but that doesn't take away from the first 19 minutes that they played good, hard defense. Offensively, Pewaukee just has to keep trusting their offense. They are a great shooting team. They're very efficient at scoring the basketball. The shots haven't fallen yet. They need to keep their confidence, see a few fall through. I mean, 2 games ago, I think Tyler had 5 threes. George had 7 threes, and I think Ben Shereen had 6 threes in a single game. So this is a team that can get hot quick. And don't take away from Landon Stels and a few others, Nick Templis, that knocked down threes as well. So hopefully we can see them open up the court a little bit here.
Yeah, I think really good point. And there were some decent looks at threes that just didn't fall, or especially early in the first half. See if we can get some of those good looks and get them to fall here in the second half. So we are back underway. This is Krieger out top, starting with it for the Vikings. He's over to Hewitt, and Tachenko coming up gingerly, lost his footing and went down, and favoring that left leg a little bit. Official will give a quick moment here. It looks like Tyler's gonna gut it out. And the Vikings appear like they're going to start the second half here, picking the Pirates up full court.
A little bit of token pressure, just trying to slow them down, not let them get into their offense too quick.
Same five here that started this one will work its way down to Rykowski. Pitches it underneath to Tachenko, and Tachenko is met right at the rim, and they're going to get Hewitt on the block. Right under the rim, and Tyler will head to the line and shoot a couple.
Pretty good cut by Tyler as well, similar to that we've mentioned about John. As soon as Cade picked up his dribble and spun his hips, Tyler cut at the appropriate time. Cade found him, and he got to the rim and drew that foul.
Yeah, just a heady basketball play by both guys. You got to look for the cutter, and you got to have a cutter, and they had both on that one. Tyler cashes in on the first free throw. And he'll head back to the line for the second one, and that one is up and good. So Pirates back to within 3 on the Tachenko free throws, and he's up to 9 points on the night after a really slow start. New Berlin, like every other team that the Pirates play, really trying to key in on him. Great job by George Davis. Put up a brick wall in front of Kernan, forced him to take an extra step. It'll head right back down here to the Pirates with a chance to tie the game with a 3-point shot.
And you can see why a college like Northwestern is looking at Big Cade Rykowski for that footwork he has. He just stonewalled Jace Cook, who's averaging 18 a game from getting to the basket. Big difference in size there, but was able to move his feet.
Curtis out top to Jonah Schaefer. Schaefer on the drive at the rim. That comes off, but Curtis is up there on the rebound, and John at the rim finishes, and the Pirates are within a point. Back the other end. Cook's three is off. Tachenko clears it, and the Pirates have a chance to take the lead. Here's George Davis, and they're going to get an offensive foul on Gertis right under the basket, kind of working his way to clear things out, and did not need it because George had a wide open lane to the rim. Here comes Gamage, and he's at the rim, finishes through contact, and he'll have a chance to finish off the three-point play from the free throw line. Took the contact from Rykowski. Pirate bench imploring that was fairly vertical, Cade Rykowski on that. But hats off to Gamage for finishing through it and finishing the three-point play. Vikings back up by 4. Looking screen and roll, but was not there. Here comes Jace Cook. Over to Gamage. Finds its way to Hewitt. Hewitt will try a 3, and that is good. And the lead has ballooned to 7 here in the early going of the second half.
Yeah, Pewaukee just needs to settle down, get a good look. You're not going to get a 7-point shot here. Just get a good look. There it is.
We'll take a 3 from George Davis. And the Pirates are back within 4. So good look from George and another guy who can get hot, like you just mentioned, Casey, in a hurry. Be nice to see George find some looks like that.
Yeah, it's always great. We mentioned it in the first half, but for some of these shooters, just to see the ball go through the basket at times is a big advantage. George seeing that one fall. Hopefully that opens up his jumper a little bit more. And on that end of the court, I feel like we see this every game where someone comes in full speed on Cade. He goes straight up, and it is like a load-bearing wall when you hit that, and these guys just tumble to the floor.
Ball will go back to the Pirates, and Nick Templis working the dribble handoff with Davis. Team as the season goes on, Casey, just the ball movement seems so much more fluid than it did, especially in the first month. You talked about it at the outset, the familiarity, the continuity with this team. You can really start to see it on the offensive end.
Yeah, and people have fallen into their roles. They know which guys are cutting, which guys are spotting up, and it comes a long way as George has had a great little two-step post up with a little nice baby hook.
5 quick points for Davis, who was held scoreless in the first half. But he looks like a man on the mission here to open the second half. It's 33-31, and Hewitt with his second triple in fairly short order, and Coach Berkemper will take a timeout. It's 36-31 in a back-and-forth affair. Well, I mentioned it earlier. I think we had some audio problems. We'll give them another shout-out while everybody's watching. Congrats again to our Pewaukee Pirate girls basketball team. 6 times now in a row, the Woodland West Conference champions. They clinched it last night out at Pius with a big victory against the Lady Popes. Our Lady Pirates are having themselves a season in the Woodland Conference. There have been some ups and downs, but it has not stopped them from taking care of business in the conference, and they're getting ready for a strong push in the tournament in March here too. Congrats to Coach Reuter and the girls Pirates team. It has become a tradition to take care of business in the Woodland Conference, and they've done it again.
Then you look up in the student section, a lot of those girls are at the game today supporting the boys program as well.
Yeah, and manager Cassie Hoyman, part of that group that keeps the glue together. She's a busy kid, that's for sure. She's managing the basketball team, putting on a great production like this. And that one was out of the hands of Nick Templis, and I don't know if that, they're saying it just slipped out of his hands. That was kind of a strange looking play where the ball ended up in the second row of the bleachers. It'll go back to New Berlin West on the turnover. Get the replay over there, Casey.
It was tough to tell. It looked like Cook kind of reached in, but I couldn't tell if it just tipped if he tipped it and knocked it out into the crowd, or if it just caused Nick to, force a little bit higher pass. It was tough to tell from video.
Back down on the other end, nearly intercepted by Gamage. Finds its way back to Tachenko. His three is up and good, and a pretty contested one. Kern kind of had a look on his face of, what do I got to do? But Tyler splashes it down, and he's up to 12 on the night. The Pirates are back within a bucket.
Yeah, Tyler's off balance, coming backwards away from the basket. Sewell's able to knock it down.
Back on the other end, Kern, strong finish with the foul on Davis, and he'll go to the line and try to finish the three-point play.
Kern's an impressive player. He plays a lot bigger than he appears, at least from watching, but I think it's his physicality and strength. But when he gets his feet set, he's a very high-profile shooter as well, and he's shooting 40.2% from three, and you can see every bit of it. He has a very nice jump shot.
And just a really complete player on the offensive end. Knocks down the free throw and brings it back to a 5-point lead. Kern up to 14 points on the night for New Berlin West.
Again, for Pewaukee, get a good look, run your offense, don't force things. The shots will fall.
Tyler tried to swing that thing across, intercepted by Cook. And they are back ahead. Pritchard back in, number 3 for the Vikings. Finds its way to Cook, and Cook's 3 is good, and Schaefer on the heavy closeout fouled him. He'll have a chance to make it 4 from the free throw line. 42-34. And just a flurry here. And this, we talked about this. A guy like Cook, you can keep him quiet for so long, but that range that he has, pretty unlimited, and it puts pressure on a defense. We saw this happen with Tyler. You could get overzealous on a closeout, and that's exactly what happened there. And Cook had the follow through to finish it.
Yeah, it looked like Jonah came out a little too far on that closeout, as you mentioned. Kind of got underneath Jace's feet when he landed, causing that and one foul. Opens up a 9-point lead.
Cook's 3 has him up to 14 on the night, and the Pirates are going to take another timeout. 43-34 now, and this is an important spot in the game, Casey. 12 minutes left. You can feel on a momentum play like that, a 4-point play from Jace Cook on a heat check 3. That's the kind of thing that can get a team like New Berlin West started. It's important for the Pirates to dial it in here and make the most out of the next 4 or 5 minutes of this game, or this thing could get away from them.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the difference of these last 3 or 4 minutes here. Pewaukee's had a couple turnovers. It's led to open looks for New Berlin West. You saw that lead open up a bit, but as you mentioned, it's a key point in this game. Coach Bergkemper called that timeout, trying to settle down the squad. But the big piece here is just stay within yourself. Continue. They've held New Berlin West to 43 points thus far. Keep battling on the defensive end and take the open looks on offense. There's a lot of game to be played yet.
Krieger at the controls here for New Berlin West. Or dribble handoff with Evan Kern. Stelson Malkowski back out there for the Pirates. Kern will try a 3. And George Davis clears for Pewaukee. And they're going to get Templis on a travel with the rip through, saying he started that move before he put the dribble down. It'll go back to New Berlin West. Cook trapped up top, but able to get it over there to Krieger. Good ball movement, finds its way down low to Hewitt, and Hewitt finishes at the rim, and the lead is 11.
New Berlin West rotate into a 1-3-1 zone here, trying to rattle or change up Pewaukee's offense, see if they can get them to force some shots.
Hewitt on the steal. He's out ahead. Finishes at the rim, and the lead is 13. Couple of buckets by Hewitt, and he's having himself a nice night. Matches Cook and Kern with 14. 14 points apiece for Hewitt, Kern, and Cook. Freshman Carson Buckberger wearing number 23 tonight. Be back in the lineup. His first action. Two-way guy. It's out there, a nice JV win this earlier today, this afternoon. And that's out of bounds off of Buckberger. And it will be New Berlin West basketball.
And Pewaukee looks rattled. They just can't get settled in. I think, if I'm correct, that might be 6 consecutive possessions with a turnover now. So they need to get these stops and just settle down. I know I keep repeating that, but you got to let the game play out. Don't try and force too much. Try and get some good looks. But it starts right now on the defensive end. They've got to get a few stops.
Down here on this end, it has been Hewitt, Kern, and Cook all night long. 42 of the 47 Viking points from those three. Hewitt fires it underneath the Kern, and he is fouled by Stelz. Be Landon's first foul, but already the 5th foul with over 10 minutes to go in the second half. 5th foul on the Pirates. That'll be a factor as this one gets into the short strokes. The Vikings will likely be working with a bonus for a good portion of the second half. Screen and roll. Cook working against Rykowski. Gamage down low. And they're going to get Gamage on the travel. Just lost his footing down there. At least the second time tonight, somebody in that area of the court has slipped a bit. Gamage just seemed like he was working to get into his move, lost his footing. And the travel will give the ball back to the Pirates.
New Berlin West going back to man now. Let's see if Pewaukee can take advantage of that.
Tachenko's pass. I think he was trying to work handoff with Rykowski, and then just no connect. And there's Hewitt again at the rim. And the lead is 15. Rykowski off back iron. And quick foul down here. They're going to get Tachenko on the hold on Kern. 16 foul already on the Pirates, and New Berlin West will be shooting a bonus for the duration of our second half here. Casey, we talked about it about 12 minutes. I think the lead had ballooned to maybe 9 points. It's now a 15-point problem, and time is going to start to become a factor, and especially 15-point lead can feel very doable in a 9-minute game. Pirates only got 34 points on the board right now, Casey. It feels like a big mountain to climb in a fairly short order.
Yeah, and they've got to get the stop on defense. It seems like New Berlin West is just getting open looks right now. Pewaukee's turning the ball over on one side. New Berlin West is getting pretty good looks on the other side. So they got to break something here, try and get back into this game.
Lead is out to 17. Rykowski tries to spin it over to Buchberger, nearly intercepted by Kern. Finds its way over to Stels. Stels' three is up and good, and that is just what the doctor ordered. Stels with his first three ball of the night, and the lead is back to 14.
That's step one of the process. Now they got to get the stop on defense.
Berlin West in no hurry at this point. A very, very cohesive offensive unit. Hewitt had an open look at three, but that one came off. Nowakowski tries the baseline. Back out top to Buchberger, and he is fouled. Tanner Crezier picks up the foul. And it's going to be a timeout for the Vikings. So Casey, the three from Stels was very much a stop the bleeding three-point shot, but the Pirates find themselves with a 14-point problem, 8 minutes to go. Going to have to put the ball in the basket, as we've been saying all night. How do you change things up, and how do you get Tachenko some good looks?
Yeah, you're right. Tyler has not had a lot of wide open opportunities. And credit Kern. Kern's kind of chasing him. He's really being physical, not letting Tyler get to his spots. But they're going to have to try and bring Tyler off a couple different screens. Now, on the Pewaukee side, when they go and set the screen, they've got to make contact. They've got to force some type of rotation or switch to get Kern off of Tachenko and try and open that up a little bit. But outside of Tachenko, there's some other guys on this team that can hit those open threes. They just got to settle in and get some of those looks.
There's a new face in the lineup for PTV fans, but not for us. Caden Busing, another sophomore rather, that splits time with the JV team, getting some run out here. And Caden's a guy who can shoot it. Very trusty point guard on the JV team, and right off the bat, an assist down there to John Gertis, and the lead is 12. Huge to get a bucket coming out of the timeout there. Let's see if, as you've been saying, we got to get the stops now too, Case.
Yeah, New Berlin West is rotating into that spread offense that they ran a bit in the first half, trying to pull the defense out, putting 4 guys in the corner. As Cook attacks, you're going to see number 10, I don't have his name, he's going to rotate up, and they're just going to keep interchanging until Pewaukee stretches their defense out, and then they're going to try and attack.
Yeah, really spreading it out there. Hewitt at the controls.
Hewitt,
back over to Krieger, and they're going to take the air out of the ball a little bit here. So Pewaukee going to have to be aggressive on the ball, and there's Malkowski making them work underneath, nearly picked off, but finds its way right back to Krieger, and he's good at the rim, and the lead is back to 14. Buckberger to Busing down here on the corner. Find its way to Rykowski. Back to Malkowski. Here comes Caden Busing on the drive, and the finish. Hey, put it on the board. The first bucket of his varsity Pirate career. Hats off to Caden Busing. And I'll tell you what, Casey, we know that kid. The lights aren't never too bright for Caden Busing. In fact, I think he kind of likes it.
That is the truth. And as we've seen for many, many years, as we both have sons in the same grade as Caden, he likes to play downhill, and he got downhill and got to the bucket.
Back on the other end, Krieger was fouled. That'll be Rykowski's third. Send Krieger to the line. And he knocks down the first one. Rykowski will check back out, and in favor of Tachenko.
The previous Pirate basket was made by Caden Busing.
Craig's just catching up that was Busing. We know our guy.
A lot of different numbers tonight with the new, very sharp. I do like the red on red jerseys that they're wearing today.
That one out of the hands of Busing, back the other direction, and right there at the rim, that is Tanner Krejcier. Cashes in, and the lead is back to 15. Carson Buckberger working a little bit of a 2-man game out top. And they're going to get fouled down here on Kern. I'll tell you what, Kern, we've talked about him on the offensive end. He has done a nice job on Tyler, has been working very hard on both ends all night long. They'll get him on the foul there, but he has been battling with Tachenko all night long on the defensive end.
And if I'm not mistaken, those two are AAU teammates the last couple years for the 24-up program, so they know each other's games very well.
Good feed underneath to Rex Malkowski. His party ain't over yet, Casey. The lead's 13. Still 5 minutes to go. Berlin came out hot to start the second half, and here's Krejcier at the rim, and he finishes a couple of buckets for him. Put the Vikings back ahead by 15. Malkowski feeds it down low. At the rim, Tachenko finishes.
Good post up by Tyler there. Got down low, got beneath Kern's hips, and he was able to slide underneath for that layup.
58-45, just over 4.5 minutes to go here in the second half, and they're going to get
a timeout, maybe.
Get a timeout. Pirate bench was calling for a travel. The New Berlin West bench was calling for a foul, and we're not going to get either. We're going to get a timeout here. 4.5. on the clock. Craig Copleen is reminding the fans in the house, get those tickets purchased. You got about an hour left. The raffle will stay live after the game finishes until 9 o'clock. And you've got a chance to win those wonderful prizes. red.pewaukeetv.org is what will get you into the raffles. You can scan the QR on the screen. All proceeds benefit Pewaukee Best Buddies and the Special Olympics. And we got the Cassie's volunteer squad making their way through the stands, collecting bucks for a wonderful, wonderful cause. Again, we talked to Taylor and Cassie Hoyman at halftime. You know, another shout out for them. We'll show it to you if you happen to miss it. Taylor and Cassie have put together just a wonderful, wonderful event here for the 5th consecutive year, and we'd love for you to help with that wonderful cause for Taylor and Cassie Hoyman and their whole group with Warriors Wear Red. Ball about to be entered back into play down here. And a 3 up and good for Jace Cook. And just like that, the lead is back to 16. And this one's going to take a flourish here to get some shots up and get some points on the board. Kajier with another steal. He's out ahead with it. Over to Cook, and Cook saves it, flips it up, and somehow it finds its way to Hewitt. And they'll get Malkowski on a foul on Kern, and Kern will head to the line to shoot the 1-and-1. So time is not on our side here, Casey.
Yeah, it is. This half has not gone the way Pewaukee had drawn it up. As we mentioned early on, there's been quite a few turnovers. New Berlin West is doing a really nice job defensively forcing those turnovers. They went from man-to-man to a 1-3-1, back to man-to-man, and it did rattle Pewaukee's offense. And on the defensive end, they've just gotten buckets as far as New Berlin West goes. They're getting the shots that they want, and they're getting the buckets to fall.
Free throw was off, so it'll remain a 16-point lead. Peyton Sutter checks in the lineup for Pewaukee, number 11. And we get another foul down here on this end. That's Kachir's second foul, just the 4th on the Vikings. So Pirate basketball down here on the baseline. Tachenko working down there against Kern. Gets deep, comes off, gets his own rebound. Finishes at the rim, and the lead is back to 14.
Nice move by Tyler, backing him down. He does a real nice job of taking his time before that double team comes and getting that finish.
Back down here on the other end, they're going to get another foul, another trip to the free throw line. Krieger head to the line. That's the ninth team foul. But that one in the act of shooting. So this will be 2, and every foul on the Pirates heretofore will be a 2-shot foul. And we don't have the stats, but New Berlin has done a pretty nice job from the foul line tonight. They're getting there, and they're knocking them down, Casey.
Yeah, they have, and you're exactly right. They're a little over 70% on the season from the free throw line, but when it counts, they're knocking down their free throws. Tough to come back from a 10, 12, now 15-point deficit when the team like that is hitting the free throws while the clock stops.
Krieger's second one comes off to Tachenko. Stell spins it across to Tachenko. His 3 is up, and that is good. So the lead is 12. 3 minutes to play here, second half. And Tyler and the Pirates are not done quite yet. Good hands by Malkowski. Nearly intercepted that one. Not that. The Looked like maybe
Like
an
a
extra
walk.
step from Kern, but to no avail. That'll go to Ramage on the quick bucket, and the lead is back to 14. Ramage knocks it out of bounds. Stay down here on this end. Just 2:19 left and a 14-point lead for the Vikings. Peyton Sutter working, makes his way to the rim. Met by 3 Vikings down there. Kicks it out to Melkowski. His 3 is off the mark. And Hewitt is out of there with it for the Vikings. So
Hewitt does a nice job rebounding the basketball as well. He comes flying in on a lot of these. He's got pretty good size, good strength as well.
Cook finishes at the rim, and it's a 16-point lead. And Pirates are, for a team who it's been, defense has been the question most nights. This year when they've come out on the short end of it. Tonight, you got to be reasonably happy with the defensive effort against a team that's as high octane as the New Berlin West Vikings, but just 50 points on the board will be the story here, where New Berlin West, hats off to them on the defensive end of the floor, but the Pirates could never get in a groove, Casey, on the offense.
Yeah, that definitely seemed like the difference in the game today. Even the 66 points that New Berlin West has scored, Pewaukee had a lot of unforced turnovers that led to those baskets. When they got shots on the offensive side and got back and settled in on the defensive end, they did a really nice job preventing New Berlin West from getting buckets. A lot of them came off those turnovers, fast breaks, secondary breaks that they got some easy looks.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Those easy ones make it a big difference. Sutter with a steal down here, and he'll go to the free throw line. And you start talking about a 14-point lead with 1:30 left. There's only one way to get back in this, and it's quick baskets, and it's baskets without the clock moving. This would check both those boxes if Peyton can cash in at the free throw line.
And Peyton is a very good on-ball defender. You saw that as they cleared out, letting Cook bring the ball up, and he just stripped his pocket and got to the free throw line.
And both are good for Sutter, so a 12-point lead here for the Vikings. Cook and Kern so steady with it down here. A confidence with these guys who have played together for 3 years. You can just kind of feel that between Hewitt and Kern and Cook. And those guys have been the story tonight. It's 19 points on the night for Cook, 16 for Hewitt, another 14 for Kern. So amongst them, the 49 points on that 66 came from those 3, and they have really been the difference, especially in the second half.
Yeah, Nate, you can tell they've played a lot of basketball. I've seen them play in the AAU circuit throughout the summer as we travel with our sons to different events. But these are year-round basketball guys. You can tell by the way they handle the ball, the way that they finish, the confidence they have with the ball in their hand in this type of situation. So, it's not surprising to see a team that is 16-2, 7-1 in conference to have some very good guards in the backcourt that are leading the way.
Yeah, we knew this was going to be a battle here tonight. I'm actually, surprised that it's gone this way. Not that New Berlin West is not the kind of team that we know them to be, but that the Pirates have struggled so much on the offensive end. And that's something that, as the season continues to play out, getting back to some of that rhythm where they're hitting shots, finding good shots in open threes, and getting some scoring out of a balance of characters. It just was not in the cards tonight. John Gertis with 10 points on the board out there. Got off to a hot start. Nick Templis had a couple of moments, but nothing that really stuck here for Pewaukee. Peyton Sutter with his second 2 brings the Pirates to within 10. And Peyton's got no quitting him. He's still hounding Cook out there up top. But again, so calm here for the Vikings. You get the feeling that we're going to have to take a foul. You don't want to foul Cook. Kern trapped out top. Finds its way over to Ramage. Spins at the rim and finishes for 2. And that'll just about do it. A 12-point lead and another turnover down here the other end. Cook will finish at the bucket, and just not the second half the Pirates needed, Casey, to put this upset away. The Vikings looked every bit the part of the 16-2 team coming in. A hard-fought victory for them here in the Woodland West. They'll go to 17-2 on the season. The Pirates will fall to 10-8 with their next one coming up next week. We've got a showdown, our second showdown with the Wisconsin Lutheran Vikings. So we go Viking to Viking, and neither of these Vikings are very friendly in the Woodland West Conference. That will obviously be a tough one. That's coming up Tuesday. On PTV, we've got, as I mentioned, a couple of these Pirates are going to call it. Cade Rykowski, Jonas Schaefer will be on the air tomorrow. I believe we have a 6:30 tip. The girls are at home here against Kenosha Bradford. So come check that out here in Pewaukee or live on PTV with Cade and Jonah. And then we will be back next Tuesday night at home with the girls again against Waukesha North-South. That is senior night. We got an amazing group of seniors here at Pewaukee. So get on out here to see the girls Saturday against Bradford, or on Tuesday night, Tuesday night against Waukesha North-South if you're not making the trip down there to Wisconsin Lutheran for the boys game. So a whole bunch of hoops still to come coming up. In closing, Casey, final thoughts on tonight. Just a tough one for the Pirates. Not the offensive level of play that we're accustomed to seeing out of this team.
Yeah, a little bit of tale of two halves, I think. You know, that last, I think it was, I'm looking right now, it was about 1:11 left in the first half. Pewaukee was up 22-17, and New Berlin West had an 8-0 run to finish out that half, and they just continued that momentum into the second half and, you know, open up the lead quite a bit with a 14-point lead there. But as well as Pewaukee played in the first half, maybe the buckets weren't falling on their side. The second half was a tale of the two halves. So unfortunately, you got to play a complete game when you're playing a team that's 16-2. They didn't quite have that today, and they end up on the tail end of a win-loss.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was still a festive night here. Again, one more shot. It was Warriors Wear Red night here in the gym. Still about 45 minutes left to get into those raffles. Thank you again to the sponsors you see on your screen. If you'd like to take one last chance to get out there, or you thought about doing it and didn't do it because the game was so exciting, it's red.pewaukeetv.org. The QR code is out there. Thanks again to Cassie and Taylor Hoyman for the wonderful program they put on, all in the benefit of the Best Buddies program here in Wisconsin, or in Pewaukee, and the Special Olympics of Wisconsin. So one more time, red.pewaukeetv.org. Well, Casey, we'll do it again soon. Be back out here. It's getting down to be, the playoff time for both of these teams.
The Ides of March are almost upon us.
And these games are going to get only more and more intense here in the gym in Pewaukee. Get on out here to support both Pirates teams as they close up the season. And check us out on PTV. We appreciate you. Have a good night, Casey, and have a good night out there.
Thanks. Have a good one.